Hello, everybody. Welcome to Optimizing WordPress Like a Super Affiliate. This is the first session of Affiliate Summit other than the newcomer session, so thank you guys for coming out this morning. My co-presenter and I have spent a lot of time on this presentation, going back and forth, coming up with the tips and practicing, so we hope you appreciate the things we came up with today. We're going to go really, really quick because there's a lot of good tips in here, and then there's a companion post, blog post about this presentation, so if you miss any notes, just pay attention to that at the end. I'm David Vogelpohl. I run a company in Austin called Clique. We do WordPress development, and we also help people run their affiliate programs. I've been in the affiliate marketing and web development space for over 18 years. And my co-presenter is Mr. Syed Balkhi, and I'll let him tell you about himself.
Hey guys, I'm Syed Balkhi. I'm the founder of the largest WordPress resource site called WPBeginner. So if you're here looking to learn about WordPress, I'm the guy who most of the people look for anyways on the internet. So I have plenty of experience in WordPress and affiliate marketing. I've been using WordPress for 8-9 years now. So any question at the end, just keep it for the end, and you can come ask us. But we have a lot of good tips for you. So hopefully, you enjoy it. Let's get it.
Awesome. So we will be live tweeting. So we have automated tweets that'll go off during the session with a lot of the links and tips we give. So if you search for the hashtag ASW15 with the hashtag WordPress, you'll see all the auto tweets go off. So one thing, if you were paying attention, we are giving away a super affiliate super package that includes a year of free web hosting for 10 websites, a bunch of free plugins, a year subscription to For Me to Coupon, a year subscription to Mouseflow, a free WordPress migration from WeMoveWP, every theme Studio Press sells, every theme ThemeLab sells, and it's a really great package, and we're giving it away to one person in this audience. So look around, there's not a lot of people here. You have a really good chance of winning. We're going to give this away at the end, so don't leave this presentation early. All right, so the first thing we're going to cover is picking a hosting account. And I get this question almost every day, where should I host my website? And the way I look at it is there's 3 types of hosting accounts. There's a value hosting account, which is the $5 or $10 a month hosting that you'll see a lot, like if you do searches for hosting. It tends to be really affordable, tends to not be quite so reliable or fast. But they tend to have some tools that make it easy for newbies. So if you have a new site or a site that doesn't make a lot of money, you don't want to risk a lot on hosting, go with the value hosting account. And I'm going to give you some recommendations in a couple of slides here. The other type of hosting account you could get is a dedicated host, which is your own server, or a VPS, which is basically your own server in the cloud. I put bars up here to show affordability and reliability and all that kind of stuff, but that actually varies. So for example, if you have one server with 1,000 websites on it, your cost to host each site could be 50 cents a site. But of course, if you were overloaded with 1,000 sites on your server, the speed might not be so good. And then if you only have one server with one network card, one hard drive, and one processor, if any one of those things fails, your site's down. So in that sense, a dedicated server is less reliable. But again, if you throw a bunch of infrastructure at it, or if you're in the cloud with VPS, it can be very fast and very reliable. But the ease of use is really, really low. It's hard to use unless you're a developer. So unless you have a developer on staff, you are a developer, you have one hired, I would not go with dedicated or VPS. The third type, which I recommend 9 times out of 10, is a managed WordPress host. Now what managed WordPress hosting means is that they only do WordPress hosting. So their staff, their infrastructure, their support, their tools are all designed around WordPress. Again, the affordability can kind of go back and forth. For example, there's a managed host called WP Engine. They have an account that's $99 a month, but you can host 10 websites on it. So per site, it's only $10 per site, so that's kind of cheap. But again, if you do one site in that hosting account, then it's going to be $99 per site. That can be kind of high. The ease of use is the highest there is in hosting, because everything they build, all their tools and systems are built around WordPress. So they have like automated backup tools and all these things centered around WordPress that a more general host can't support. My favorite hosts in each category would be SiteGround and InMotion for value. SiteGround does have a booth here, so you can go check those guys out during the exhibition. In the managed hosting arena, I recommend WP Engine and Synthesis. WP Engine I end up recommending more than almost anything. They are a client of mine, and that's not really why I make that recommendation. They are literally the best when it comes to managed WordPress hosting. And then if I'm going dedicated or VPS, I like Amazon Web Services or Rackspace. And Syed was telling me during our practice that InMotion actually has some good offerings with some cheap options for dedicated and VPS. So now we have a nice, safe home for our website, and now we need to pick a design for it. And so a lot of people, the first place they'll stop when they're picking out a theme is a site called ThemeForest. And what ThemeForest is, it's a marketplace of themes. And what happens is all these developers make themes and they make them available in the marketplace. And there's all kinds of variants. You can have a theme site for a photography site and a gardening site and a blogging site and a coupon site. There's, I don't even know how many thousands of themes are in there. The problem I have with ThemeForest is you don't really know what you're getting. Because there's so many developers, you don't know that they've done their HTML properly, you don't know that they've coded the theme to be SEO optimized, and then you have no idea if they're going to be in existence tomorrow, if they're even in existence today. They could have submitted a theme 3 years ago or a year ago, and then it went and gotten a job and won't support the theme anymore. So that's why I call it the Wild West of themes. But if you're looking for a really specific theme, ThemeForest is a really good place to go check that out. But what I normally recommend is that you pick a premium theme. These are themes made by established companies with good reputations that have been vetted by industry experts. The #1 theme provider I recommend is StudioPress. So check out the StudioPress themes. Woo themes are also pretty good. And then App Themes make themes specifically designed around affiliate marketing, or at least some of their themes are. I haven't personally used App Themes, but I know some super affiliates that have and really like their themes. The other thing that you're going to come across when you start thinking about themes is a framework. Now, there's 2 primary frameworks in WordPress. There's the Genesis framework, which is made by StudioPress, and there's Thesis, which is made by a company called DIY Themes. Now, the way that these companies like to pitch themselves is that it's a DIY platform for building your own custom theme. And yes, technically that's true. But if you're not a developer, you're going to have a hard time building a really good custom theme using one of these frameworks. Where the frameworks really help you out is if you have a developer or you are a developer, it will basically make that process faster. So if you have your own developer and you're not DIYing as a non-developer, have them check out frameworks. And if you're interviewing new developers, see if they use a framework. Genesis, the one made by StudioPress, is the most popular. So if you're looking to have the chance to hire developers with experience in the framework, Genesis is definitely the one you want to check out there. The next thing we're going to talk about is picking plugins, and Syed's going to cover that.
So plugins are the reason why most people love WordPress, and that's the reason why WordPress has grown. Oh, okay. So plugins are the reason why most people love WordPress, and the reason why WordPress powers almost 1/4 of all websites on the internet. The cool part about plugins is that it extends the functionality that your WordPress theme cannot extend. If your WordPress theme has a lot of functionality, you're most likely going to be tied down to that WordPress theme. So if you buy something off of ThemeForest, and then let's say a year from now you want to get a new look and you switch your themes, you will lose a lot of the functionality. For example, if you're displaying a portfolio of images, you want to switch, all of those images are gone, and now you have to re-upload them. So that's where plugins come in handy. There are right now over 35,000 free plugins available for WordPress. That's a good thing and a bad thing. It's good because there's so many. It's bad because how do you pick the right plugin? But choosing the right plugin goes a long way into establishing yourself as a super affiliate. So if you're looking for a free plugin, do not go download it from anywhere else except for the official repository, which is the wordpress.org/plugins. Now, if it's a paid plugin, of course, you can get it from different sources. But if somebody's saying, oh, this is a paid plugin, but you can get it for free, chances are it has a malware or a virus that's going to infect all of your users. Don't go for it. Go to wordpress.org, search through the search bar, look through the most popular plugins, or browse through the tags. That's the start. But now that, let's say you're most likely going to find 10 different plugins that are offering the similar functionality. How do you pick the best one? Look through the ratings and the reviews. These are left by the users, and you can have a very good idea. Most people are very detailed. If you're leaving a rating or review, which I encourage you to do, be as detailed on what you liked about it, what you don't like about it. The second thing is look at the support and the screenshot. So support allows you to see how involved this author really is. Sometimes these developers create this plugin for a client and then they push it out to the world if anybody wants to use it, but there's no support. Again, you shouldn't expect support because it's free. You didn't pay anything for it. Same thing with screenshots. Did the developer really put the effort in putting the screenshot? There's also a little thing called compatibility mode. It tells you what other people are saying. Does this plugin work with the current version? Maybe the plugin was last updated a year ago and it's not working. Sometimes the plugin was updated last year ago and it's still working. It's still a good plugin. So keep in mind of these things, and just remember, it's very important. Plugins are free. Don't go overboard. If you're not seeing support, switch to a different one. Sometimes donating $5 go a long way because most of the time these plugin authors don't really get any donations. If you donate $5, you're like king. And now they're going to go above and beyond to get you sorted. So you have to see, should I spend 2 hours of my time or $5 and get this plugin developer to fix this thing for me? Same thing, rate the plugin, view the compatibility mode, and if you're describing or looking for support, go in full details saying this is why it's not working and this is what you need to do, because that helps you go a lot further with plugins. And one of the big questions is how many plugins are too many? Can the plugin slow down your site? Yes, it can, and that's where David's going to go for.
Yeah, so as a web development company, a lot of customers come to us trying to make their website faster. And so we could go all into all the different ways you can make your website faster, but I wanted to cover the top 5 things we see. We get these projects basically a few times a week. I'd say 8 or 9 times out of 10, they have a bad host. So it's a really easy fix for us. We go move them to a premium host like WPEngine, and they're set. So if you're having a slow website, look at your hosting account. If you're paying $5 or $10 a month for hosting, I'll tell you right now, that's why your website's probably slow. The second most popular thing that happens are that the plugins are causing the problem. So plugins are software. If you have a plugin to help you put social media share buttons on your website, you're doing it wrong. You don't need software for that. You need a developer to help you put tiny little snippets of code to have those buttons on your website, not a whole piece of software that's written around it. So if you want to speed up your site, delete your plugins. Don't just deactivate them if you're not using them. Delete them and reduce the number of plugins you're using. If you're using a plugin for a simple task, find a developer to help you out and get rid of that, and it should speed up your website. Also, plugins can have like excessive queries to the database. This can be slowing down your website. So if you have like directory plugins or plugins that are doing things with data, that could be the source of that. The other thing we look at is a CDN, or a content distribution network. What a CDN is, it's computers all over the world that have a copy of your website. And so if I'm in Vegas, I download from the Vegas server rather than your main server, maybe in Virginia. And so a CDN is a great way to speed up your website. I recommend Max CDN, and those guys are floating around here at the show. They may have a booth, but you can check them out. Image sizes are another problem when we look at WordPress speed issues. I recommend that you check out the plugin WP Smush It, which will help you reduce the size of the images on your site. And then finally, reduce scripts, images, and text, and really anything on your website that your visitors aren't using or aren't adding value to the offer that you're trying to make. And so if you think about a web page, there's pictures and text and CSS, and these things are all called every time your website loads. And the number of things that call make a list like this. And so if we remove an image, if we remove some text, if we remove a video people aren't watching, it reduces the number of calls, which will speed up your website. If you want really in-depth tips on how to speed up your website, there's an article at bit.ly/WP Speed Tips that goes into a bunch of other techniques that you can use to speed up your website.
So the point of this talk, right, we're talking about super affiliates. So infrastructure is like very essential for your business, because as an affiliate, your entire business is on the internet. So you have to look at impacts, like how fast is my site, right? If you make your business really hard to find or really hard to get into, people are not going to go in through the door. Same thing you have to do for your online site, because that's your business. You have to make sure it's fast, it's easy for people to access, and most importantly, it's secure. Because you've put in all this time on finding the right plugin, finding the right theme, choosing the good host, is your website secure? Every website, just about every website, can be hacked, but there are certain things you can go and implement that reduces those chances. And I recommend 2 of the services. One is Cloudflare. They have a free version and a paid version. It's basically a web firewall, web application firewall. Everything goes through their server, and then they mitigate all the attacks or anything, reduces the spam down, cut through your resources. It's free, but they also have paid options. Security, the cool part about that is they're WordPress focused. So not only are they doing the web application firewall on the host end, but they're also doing security on the WordPress level. So they will tell you if it's a specific plugin on your site that's not secure. They'll give you a warning saying, get rid of this plugin. So it's a really, really cool service. But again, I want to emphasize that no WordPress site or no website, any software site is secure. So the best WordPress security you can have for yourself is a good backup solution. Okay? Don't say, oh, I have Cloudflare, so I'll never be hacked. Trust me, having a good backup will go a long way in protecting you overall. And David will talk about backups.
Yeah, so making backups of your website, it really depends on your host. So each host will kind of have their own backup solution you could buy or which are automated. So for example, WP Engine has a snapshot service. You just click a button and it makes a backup of your site. You can use the cPanel backup wizard to make backups. The one tip I'll give you on backups though is you can make a backup on your host servers, which is fine. So if your site gets hacked, you can recover from the copy on your host servers, but you also want to make a backup copy outside of your host. So that way, if their data center burns down, you don't lose your website. It's still available in some remote location. For that, I like to use Voltpress, which hosts it on servers that are run by Automatic, which is the company behind WordPress, or BackWP Up. So make a backup copy of your website that you can recover from if the data center burns down or if you get hacked. The other thing that you need to ask your host about is staging. If you are making changes on your live site that are anything other than posting blog posts and editing content on pages, you need to be doing it in a staging environment. If you're making changes to the structure, the template files, adding plugins, anything other than posts, you need to be doing it on a copy of your website. You have to ask your host about this because each one does it different. WP Engine has something called one-click staging, and you click on it, and it pops up a copy of your website. When you're ready to push to production, you push another button, and it pushes it live. And if you still messed it up at that point, you can recover from a backup copy from before you made those changes. But if you're making structural or plugin or template file changes to your website in the live environment, stop because you're going to hose your website. Do it in a staging environment, and then push it to production.
Okay, so we have covered the essentials, the infrastructure. So now the part where most of you are going to really start taking notes, the content marketing and the content promotion. Because once you have the thing, let's attract the users. Let's start creating the content. We're going to cover some of the tips that we use, but more importantly, the workflow that we use to produce content. Because that's the difference between two good content creators. The one with the right workflow is going to go a lot faster and is more efficient to grow their business. So one of the things that I use is called the Edit Flow plugin for WordPress. What this allows me to do is create an editorial workflow on my site. So whether it's a site that I am managing by myself or if a site where I have multiple writers, this is good. Let's say I have an idea. I'm not going to remember it. I have to write it down. Instead of writing it down on paper, I create it as a pitch in WordPress, and then if I'm working on it, I'll just change the status in progress. So everything is really organized. But this amplifies and becomes really useful when you have multiple authors, which in most super affiliate cases you do. So let's say I come up with a bunch of article ideas, which we're going to talk about later how to come up with those ideas. But once I come up with these article ideas, I can assign it to Joe and say, Joe, I need this done by this date. If I need edits, instead of sending emails to Joe, which are going to get lost in my inbox and his inbox, I'll say all the comments within my WordPress site. And also, the cool thing is it gives you a bird's eye view through your editorial calendar, so you can say, this month, how many articles do I have planned for today? How many are going out this week? What are my schedule looking like for next week? Do we have enough ideas? So in most of my sites, we have content planned out for at least 1 month in advance, where the articles are ready to publish, right? So we're always working 1 month ahead in most cases, which gives us the competitive advantage over somebody who's doing it day to day, because let's say you get sick and you don't publish an article, or something happens, you're on a vacation, the consistency drops. The other thing I use is not a WordPress tool, it's a task management tool called Asana. This is for more general planning around the content. So let's say we're working on a video or we're working on an ebook, like I can do it all in here, take down all the notes, assign it to a team member, get the the deadlines and everything managed, all in this aspect. So this is where the two tools that I use to manage all of my editorial workflow. So you have editorial content, and then you have automated content, and that's what David's going to talk about.
All right, awesome. So we're going to cover feeds and integrating them to WordPress in the next couple of slides. One thing I want to point out, though, if you use feed content like coupon feeds or product feeds, make them so that they augment your editorial content. You're not going to be able, the dream in affiliate marketing is that you take a product feed and you automatically spin up this website and you make money without doing anything. That doesn't really work, mainly because the content in the feeds are being used by everybody else. So you basically get no SEO value out of it unless you manipulate the content in some way. And some people do that, but what we're going to talk about it is in the context of augmenting your editorial content. So if you want to add coupon content to your website, and by the way, for good or bad, the coupon space has the lion's share of probably revenue with inside of affiliate marketing. So if you're looking to add content to your, or coupons to your affiliate content or your editorial content, what I recommend you check out is For Me to Coupon. They have widgets to integrate coupon feeds, for example, in your sidebar, in your post content. And then if you use the theme Clipper, which is made by App Themes, which I mentioned earlier, with For Me to Coupon, you can build out an entire coupon website just with those two things. By the way, our giveaway includes a year free subscription for Me to Coupon, so stay in here if you want to win that. The next thing we'll talk about is integrating product feeds into your website. So the company I recommend for that is Pop Shops. And what they do is they aggregate all these product feeds from all around the web, and they allow you to add a shopping experience to your website. So it could be something as similar or as simple as, say, a related products element in your sidebar. It could be an entire category shopping page for them to shop through different things, and then you can customize the widgets. This widget is a price comparison shopping engine that takes affiliate feeds or product feeds from all these affiliate programs and then allows you to type in a search term and see each product for each merchant and then see the price. In this example, it's hunting blind, and there were 3 identical models, and the cheapest one was $1,500 and the most expensive one was $2,100. So you can use things like this to augment your editorial content. This was for a hunting site, and they had like posts about their recent hunting trips and pictures and things like that. And they were like, oh, and if you're looking for hunting gear, try our price comparison shopping engine. And these were all tied into their affiliate links. The next type of site we're going to talk about is a membership site. How many people in the audience are IMers? No one. That doesn't surprise me. How many people even know what an IMer is? Okay, there we go. One guy over there. So what an IMer is an internet marketer or an info marketer. And what they sell are video courses and ebooks. They basically participate, the main affiliate network they participate in is called ClickBank. And the way that it works is you make your video or ebook, somebody else makes their video or ebook, you email your visitors about their ebook, and they email theirs about yours. It's called JV partnerships or joint ventures, and it's all about this email trading. And there is a bunch of money in this niche in affiliate marketing. These guys will make millions of dollars over a weekend by creating a course and having all their buddies email about it. If you want to get into that space, I recommend that you start at ClickBank because they're going to have all the resources to tell you how to get going. And then when you're ready to build your website, you can build it with the plugin MemberMouse or Wishlist Member. And what it does is it allows you to charge fees for access to your content. So even if you're not going to get into the IM space, you can check out those 2 plugins if you do want to sell subscriptions, or like say you want to give away an ebook and restrict access to certain content unless they've registered for that, you can use those plugins for that as well.
So you look through our tools on like what we are using to create content. It comes down to the most important question, what kind of content you should be creating. What makes the content good? A good content is obviously useful, but it's useful to the right audience. It's something that your user must be searching for. How else are they going to come to your website? You're not looking for paid advertising. That's where SEO comes in, search engine optimization. And SEO accounts for majority of websites' top traffic source. In certain cases, it could be over 50%, 70% of their traffic is coming from search engines like Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, or whatever. So I'm going to give you some basic tips on what you should be looking for to optimize your website for search engines. 1, you have to write content that people are searching for. How do you find that? Google has a tool called Google Keyword Planner. It is a free tool. They made it for advertisers, but they never intended it to be used by publishers, but it can be used by publishers. You just go in, type whatever industry you're in, and it will give you all the different keywords and give you the value of how many times that keyword is being searched, what's the advertiser's bid there. Now you have an idea of what people are searching for. You go in, you write that content, and most likely, following the tips in this article, or in this slide, you're going to rank higher. The next tool I use for this is keywordtool.io. It is very similar to the Google tool, but it gives you the keywords from Bing and the YouTube. And I'll talk to you about YouTube because I found a lot of success with YouTube. But this gives you an idea of what kind of content you should be creating for your YouTube audience or your Bing audience. Another way to find out what people are searching for is through Twitter, because chances are if somebody is having a problem and you can solve that problem, that user is going to become a fan. Search.twitter.com is a great tool. Type in whatever you're trying to search for or whatever your niche is and see what people are tweeting about it. But if you're in a very crowded niche, use the advanced search feature that's there and type in your keyword, scroll down, and there's like a radio button called questions. If you do that, it will only show you tweets that contain some sort of question, and you can use that to flow your entire editorial strategy in that particular niche. Let's say you wrote an article that answered somebody's question. Now you can reply to that person, hey, I answered your question. Not only did you solve a problem for a lot of users, but you got a raving fan out of this because now that person thinks they had a direct impact on you building that content, and now they're going to be talking all about you. So use search.twitter.com. Another thing is the WordPress SEO by Yoast plugin. I don't care which theme you're using. If they offer some sort of SEO functionality, stop using it. Use this plugin instead. It offers tons of features, XML sitemaps, the meta description, all that. But the really cool thing if you're just starting out is the page analysis tab. Once you write your article, enter the title, the descriptions, and all that, save it, and then go into the page analysis tab. And it tells you, is your keyword density right? Do you have too much keywords? Get rid of it. How easy your content is to read. The easier your content is to read, the more likely it is that it's going to be higher ranking. And give you tons and tons of useful data that you need in order to excel in your search engine optimization strategy. So use Yoast SEO and definitely utilize the page analysis tab if you're just starting out. The second aspect of getting traffic to your content, now that you have good content, is effective social sharing strategy. So one of my biggest problems with most new bloggers is that you write a blog post, you share it once, and then you leave it to die in your blog's archive page. How many times you go on a blog, let me see what Syed wrote in October 2012. You never go to my archive page to go in October 2012 to look at all the articles I wrote then. You're going to most likely check out the first page, the second page, and then you're going to be gone. So what happened to all that effort and time that you put in, or sometimes money that you put in to get that content created? You're letting it go to waste. So let's put in an effective social sharing strategy so you get the maximum value and maximum return for the content that you created and the effort that you put in. So step one, start tweeting old posts. Okay? Chances are not all of your articles are evergreen, but a good number of them should be. At least a third of them should be. So if you wrote an article today that you think is going to be good at least for 2 weeks, why did you only just tweet it once today or twice today? Why not share it like several times this week or several times this month? Because if you're tweeting something out, only a certain percentage of your users are seeing it because it's going through their cluttered stream. This allows you to get maximum engagement. When I did this on my WPBeginner account, granted I have a lot of followers, we increased our page views by 4,000 per day. Okay, so I did this using two tools, a combination of Buffer app, which is a social scheduling tool, and another tool called Bulk Buffer. The reason why I use Bulk Buffer is I can handpick my articles, put it in a spreadsheet, or I can have my virtual assistant to do that, and then upload it to Bulk Buffer, which uploads it to Buffer, and all is automated. Now, you can use a plugin like Tweet Old Post, but it's so automated, if you don't have all the tags right, it can blow on your face. For example, let's say your WordPress hosting wasn't properly set up, the cron job missed, the scheduling system messed up, and then it tweeted out 5 articles all at once. Or worse, you had a contest that you ran this week. Yes, it's still in this month, but it expired a week ago, and this plugin tweeted it out because it was run this week. So automation has this downside, which is why I use semi-automation with Buffer and Bulk Buffer. The other thing is changing content formats. I don't know why people do not utilize YouTube. I've been using YouTube and having tons and tons of success with YouTube. So in 2011, I created a site, which was a top 25 list site. People were like, you're crazy, there's so many of them out there. I said, okay, fine, I'll do it anyways. So I did it, and within 3 months, I started seeing great success. What I did, instead of I'm a very camera shy person, I don't want to be in camera because I'm a perfectionist. So instead of putting my face on the camera, there's a slideshow, and then I'm just reading the article. Just reading the article out loud with the images slideshow. So it was just a glorified podcasting in one way, but utilizing the second largest search engine in the world and second most popular website in the world, owned by the first most popular and first most popular search engine in the world. Imagine the power of that. List25 now has over 1.4 million subscribers. So when I created that slide, we were only at 1.3 million, and now we have 1.4 million subscribers. And instead of 220 million, we have 230 million video views. So you can imagine, because there was how fast we can grow. So I did that on my other site, which is all about WordPress. And I started doing this in May of this past year. And so far, we have more than 10,000, actually 11,000 subscribers, and we're closing in on 1 million views. The idea is, take whatever articles that you have, either you do it or hire somebody else to create an audio/video version of that content and utilize these third-party platforms that have all the audience that is searching for that content, and you're not there. So leverage this effective social sharing strategy. And particularly start leveraging YouTube. Everybody that I've been talking with, they're like 2015, their focus is on YouTube. So if you're not on YouTube this year, you're going to say, oh, next year, oh man, YouTube is blowing up. I should be on YouTube. This is your chance to start doing it now. Same thing on Facebook. Don't just keep sharing your links. Take the tips out of the article, put it in an image, share it. Better reach. You can do this on Pinterest. You can do this on Instagram. On Instagram, they don't allow you to post links. Instead, change the link of your bio. All right? That's how you get clicks from that. So do that. Most importantly, though, email list. Start building the email list today, right now, if you're not building it. This is the single biggest mistake that new bloggers make. They're like, oh, I don't want to pay Aweber like $19 a month. Trust me, it's totally worth it. Do this. Build an email list. This is the most direct, most personal, most reliable way of connecting with your customer. You can build a Facebook page, pay in Facebook advertisement, and then they change their reach system. You cannot reach most of your advertisers or most of your fans. Only reach like 1 or 2% or 5% at most, right? And if you think, don't even begin telling me email is dead, right? Because social media is the thing. If email is really dead, why does every social media website require you to have an email address to create an account? Just think about that. So email marketing, start doing it. I recommend using MailChimp or Aweber. In most cases, pretty affordable. If you're doing some really advanced stuff with automation, marketing automation, then Infusionsoft. You can always switch to Infusionsoft later on if you're just starting out, but great platforms. How would you grow your email list? Easy system. Give out free stuff. Okay, freebies. Everybody loves free stuff. If I say I'm giving away a free iPad, how many of you would raise your hand? Just about everybody would want a free iPad. If you give away a free ebook, you don't have to give away an iPad. Give away a free ebook that is somehow adding value to that user. It's going to work. And then content upgrades. This thing, because I'm very involved in the email marketing space. Content upgrades work wonders. What is the content upgrade? Let's say you write this how-to guide. At the end, you say, enter your email and download my video that shows you extra bonus tips. You were going to create this video. You already have this material. Why not put this into a video format or into a PDF format? So let's say you wrote an article, 7 best things to do this, add like 5 more, and then combine that in a PDF file. How many of you know how to create a PDF file? Very easy. Open Microsoft Word, type it, save it as PDF. Pretty straightforward. Content upgrades and freebies, one of the best ways to attract the user. Add multiple forms. You don't go on a website and say, how can I subscribe to this website? That almost never happens. Right? Somebody comes to your website from search engine, they got the answer, they're going to leave. What if you add multiple pop-ups? Not just a sidebar form, something that is popping up, something that is on the bottom of the screen, something that is after the post, something that's sliding in. Add as many as you can. See what's working. A lot of times people just add it and don't look back. Look at what's working better. You don't have to have everything everywhere. You have to start somewhere and then take things off if they're not working. If they are, whichever is working better, focus on that. The tool I built, Opt-in Monster, allows you to do all of that, specifically in WordPress. If you're going in the landing pages route, I recommend lead pages. It allows you to create your entire landing page for all sort of things, and they have amazing template library as well. So add multiple forms. Now, when you have a lot of content, how can you get the maximum value out of it? You can add ad placements. Ads have a very good click-through rate if it's targeted, right? You cannot add like contextual ads, like a text link, and target that text link accordingly unless you go in crazy technical details. So I recommend a plugin called Ad Sanity if you're running any sort of banner ads. It allows you to rotate, very simple WordPress plugin. But if you're like working hardcore with affiliates, one says, okay, I only want to run this offer on your Spain users. Google DFP is your solution. Because you can display a banner ad, and that banner ad will only be displayed if the user is from Spain. If the user is not from Spain, there's no ad there at all. So I would recommend using Google DFP. And then David's going to talk more about analytics.
So Google Analytics and affiliate marketing, and in particular, within your WordPress site, obviously we could spend like an hour talking about this. So what I'm going to cover today is the #1 hole in Google Analytics I think affiliates have. And this is true for WordPress or really any affiliate site. And that's that they don't track the clicks on the affiliate links. The one thing as an affiliate that you need to track is not in your Google Analytics. And I guarantee you some people would raise their hand and say they do have that in there. And half of you would be wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an easy way to get that data into your Google Analytics because this is super important. The first thing you want to do is you want to go to a tool that Raven makes. And what it does is it allows you to track when someone clicks on one of those links. It's really easy to use. They have a form. You drop down affiliate link. You fill in a few fields about what type of link it is, and then it shows you the code to wrap around your affiliate link. If you've done anything like embed codes or any very basic HTML, you can do this. To get to the tool, it's a complicated URL, so I did a bit.ly link, bit.ly/event hack. And it'll give you an example of the code there at the bottom to wrap around your affiliate links. Now that the events are tracking inside of Google Analytics, you can do interesting things, like say, how many people that came from Facebook clicked on my affiliate links? What affiliate links did they click on? What landing page was best at getting people to click on affiliate links? So imagine someone arrives at your site because an old post has ranked for something on SEO, and they navigate through your site and they click on an affiliate link on another page. You can write a report that shows you that, and you could say, geez, people that entered on this page eventually came to this other page and clicked on this affiliate link. Maybe I should have that affiliate link on that first page. So to do those reports, I wrote some reports you can install in Google Analytics right now, bit.ly/affiliate source, which will show you the source of traffic of people that clicked on your affiliate links. It will only work, though, if you have the events enabled. So do that first. And then the other link is bit.ly/affiliate landing, which will also show you events based on the landing page they came in on. You can customize those reports. Obviously, they're kind of basic, so if you have all kinds of different affiliate links, you might have to customize them, but it'll install the base report to get you started. And the final tip for this presentation, before we get to our contest and the Q&A and all that kind of stuff, is EPC. How many people here know what EPC stands for? Okay, so a few guys. So EPC is the governing metric in affiliate marketing. And what it means is earning per click or earning per 100 clicks, depending on what space of affiliate marketing you're coming from. The problem I have with EPC is what it reflects is the value of the traffic after it left your website. But as an affiliate, that's not your asset. Your asset is your web pages and how many times those web pages were seen. So EPC is not a good metric for measuring the success of affiliate ads. And of course, it's the driving metric that we all live by. What is the real metric is RPM. And I have an example here that helps illustrate that. So on the left side, we have the electricity ad, which is for an electricity provider. In this case, it earned $100 EPC. The back paint ad earned $67 EPC, and the cloud storage ad earned $175. Well, if I'm looking at this in an affiliate network, I'm like, the cloud storage one, that's the one I want, $175. But when you factor in your asset, the number of times people saw the ad, and look at it through the lens of click-through rate, what we see is RPM stands for revenue per 1,000 impressions. And so we see that the one with the lowest EPC actually made us the most money. Because even though we were making only $67 per EPC, we got more Cs because more people clicked on the ad. So if you're evaluating your ads and what ads should be where, do not look at EPC. Look at the total amount of revenue based on the number of people who saw the ad. Now, I've had this slide in my deck for about a year and a half. And every time I present it, the first question is, well, how do I calculate RPM? And what I would say is, well, go into your affiliate network and run a report for the ad and look at the earnings and then go to your analytics and look at the impressions that ad saw. And no one ever did that at all. So I got sick of giving that explanation. So for this session, for this slide, I built a tool that does it. And it's free. You can use it right now. It's called Snap RPM. What you do is you sign up for it. It's in alpha mode, so excuse the dust. But what you can do is go in there and you enter in your affiliate API. You get that by logging into your affiliate network. You do a couple of settings in there, put a little tracking script on your website. It independently tracks your impressions, grabs your commission data from the affiliate network, and tells you how much money you made per 1,000 impressions. In the future, it'll do things like independent click auditing, so you can independently record your clicks and impressions and compare that against what the affiliate networks are showing you. But for the short term, what it does is it shows you the true value of your ads. So in this example, it's sort of hard to see the numbers, but we made more money from the WP Engine ad. We made we had more transactions, we had essentially a higher EPC, but if you look at the RPM, the mouse flow ad, and this sample, of course, was much, much higher. So we had lower commissions, we had a lower EPC, but when you look at the data and compare it to the amount of times it was shown, you see that the mouse flow ad was much more valuable for us. So this is a Snap RPM. You can sign up now. We'll be adding more affiliate networks. Currently, it only works with share sale ads, but there's really not much to do. The tracking script embed code, put in the API keys, and you're done. You don't have to be a developer to use this tool.
So, one of the things I want to leave you guys with, we want to leave you guys with, is the only way to get better is to, whatever tips that we've given you, it may work for you, it may not work for you. The only way to learn is test, keep testing and keep testing. Learn from those data, because a lot of times people install Google Analytics, never look back at it. The report that David is sharing with the event tracking of the Snap RPM, leverage that data, make the changes. Okay, so learn from it and then improve and then repeat that entire process. That's what allows you to go transition from being an affiliate to super affiliate, because you're not just throwing a dart in a dark spot, right? You're making data-driven decisions, you're making calculated decisions, and you're always testing, which means you're always learning, and that's the thing. So one thing, anything you do, test, learn, and improve. So let's do the giveaway thing. We want one of you to win, and you can win all these amazing WordPress goodies. So what we did earlier in the day is we stuck a piece of paper underneath your seat. There's 10 of them out there. I will give you 10 seconds to look underneath your seat to see if you find a paper.
Check in front and behind. Not every seat was equal in our ability. So hang on to that piece of paper.
If you have it, just hold it up.
All right, hold it up.
Yep.
All right.
Don't look at other seats, though. Only look at your own seat. That's it.
Okay, right, now it's a cutoff. Cutoff. Everybody that's
time's up. Okay,
time's
who has the paper?
Hold it up. Everybody hold it up. Lowest number wins.
Who has the lowest number?
That
One.
Would be the lowest
That's
number.
winning
Yeah,
it.
there's a winner. So if you'll get with us after, we'll collect your information and get you all the coupon codes and everything. But again, 1 year free hosting on 10 websites for WP Engine, for me to coupon for a year, mouse flow, all that kind of stuff. So it's a really good prize. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's yours. I want to thank you very much. This is my partner, David. I'm Syed. If you fail to take the notes or you want to revisit our presentation, there's a companion article. If you go to bit.ly/WPASW2015, this link has also been tweeted out already. So if you just go there, you'll see all the stuff that we shared. And at this point, if you have any questions, just come up to the mic and we'll take it from there. Yep.
We can repeat your question too.
Yeah.
Okay. My question is on the raisin that you were talking about. I know you can track the affiliate as they go out. Are you able to track if there is a transaction made or a conversion made? Like a lot of times we have an issue.
Repeat the question.
Where we don't think the numbers add up. We can see the people that went through a click, but then we're getting back that it's like this crazy low percentage, even though we have data, historical data that shows it's 20%, they're showing 5%.
So the question was, we mentioned the Bitly event hack thing where you can track the outbound links, but you can't track the ultimate conversion, which you really need, especially if you're doing things like arbitraging traffic, like if you're buying traffic from search engines and then it's going off. So there are some tools that can help you track that eventual conversion, but short of getting a tracking script on the merchant side, it's a difficult piece of data to come up with, especially if it's going through a network and it's in between. If you have a particular merchant that you're working with and you're sending them a lot of traffic, one thing you can sometimes do is convince them to put your own conversion tracking script on their web page, on their thank you page. It's a hard thing to convince them to do. If you're going to try that approach, I recommend you look at a company called Has Offers, and they'll basically give you the ability to set up kind of your own affiliate program, and then you can put your tracking script on their thank you page to independently verify their conversion rates. The other thing that a lot of affiliates will do if you have those kind of direct relationships with merchants is forgo the network altogether and just say, hey, sign up on my Has Offers platform and I'll pay you the commissions, and then you can kind of independently run it and you don't have to rely on their stuff. So I hope that helps answer your question.
I just want to add to it. Most networks or most merchants wouldn't necessarily agree with you to put your tracking code because you can collect a lot of data from that, so they don't want to give you that, because imagine if they have like 15 affiliates and they're putting 15 tracking codes. Usually, this works out really well if you have a software or you have a closed system, and if you can somehow build a payments API code. We've done it in the past with some of our partners that are like so much that we're not called affiliates at that point. We're like really partners, and we build API-based things. But other than that, there's no easy way to do it.
There is a service provider, and I believe they're called Tracking 202, which specializes in pay-per-click arbitrage, which based on the documentation I've seen, claims to solve some of these problems, but I haven't personally used it. I've talked to the guy, and it sounds legit, and he's a smart guy, but I haven't personally used it.
My question is for you, Syed. It's about the content marketing piece. What's the current thinking on how often to send email, like MailChimp newsletters, kinds of things? And then I have a second question, too.
Okay, so the first question is, what is the best practice for the frequency of emails you send out to your subscribers? It totally depends on what you're doing. Once a week is okay. If you're doing like multiple times a week, granted it's a special circumstance, sure, if you have a special event coming up. If you're doing it every day, and it could be a little bit too much. If you're doing once a month, it could be a little bit too less. So you have whatever you have, keep it consistently going. Every other week tends to work really well. Once a week, Monday morning, 7 a.m. works pretty well. Again, it depends where your audience is, what kind of time zone they're in. Doing that, and if they're signing up for something in particular, let's say they signed up for a weekly email newsletter, make sure it's weekly. Right? If they're signing up for a 10-step course, right? 10-step email course, maybe you can get away with a daily email, right? Let's say it's a 30-day challenge that you're doing. Yeah. You better send out email every day at that point, because that's what you promised them. So just try to deliver whatever you're promising that user without going overboard. And if you have, like, say, a 30-day challenge program, and then you have another list that's also sending emails, you have to make sure that this particular group of people is not also getting this email, because now they're getting like 4 emails from you every day. Right. That can go a little bit overboard, so a little bit of segmentation there helps.
And my other question is about ebooks. We created one, and I thought it was going to have great legs, and it really hasn't. So can you talk a little bit about what's effective, what works, what's a good ebook, and
Sure.
how you market it?
So a good ebook, in my perspective, is the one that's answering the question of whatever your user is looking for. So sometimes a targeted ebook works a lot better. For example, if somebody's coming to my website and is looking for how to fix error establishing database connection error, right? Which happens in WordPress quite often. I can say, all right, after you've done it, here's how you can fix 15 other most common WordPress errors. That could be an ebook that I offer, and you can say, well, that's a content upgrade, but it's actually an ebook that I'm offering, and I'm only showing it to the most targeted audience. That tends to work a lot better versus just putting one ebook throughout the site. In my personal opinion and experience, the checklist style ebooks tend to be downloaded a lot more versus how-to or ultimate guide style ebooks, because ultimate guide means they're going to actually have to sit down and read, versus the checklist implies that this is something that I can quickly get through. So maybe it's even like a 2-page checklist, and after every tip you're sending them to an article on your site. That's a very good tip to implement. So for example, if you're a realtor who specializes in selling lakeside properties, somebody came looking at your website, looking through different properties you have, is about to leave, and you say, wait, before you go, download my 7-step checklist to make sure that you're looking through everything you need to buy a lake home. Maybe that's talking about ground erosion or whatever, right? You can give them 1, 2, 3, and then, so they're like, oh my God, I need to look at ground erosion. I need to look at what the laws are, et cetera. And that's a much higher conversion.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yeah. And you can ask your next question from the C. We can repeat it. That's fine.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yep.
Maybe you've covered this, and if you did, you guys can boo me and I'll leave. I got here late, the registration. Anyway, and when you put up affiliate links, and a lot of times you'll get cool special deals, like, oh, Sephora, like from January 5th to January 27th, you get this and this, but is there a program or something on WordPress where I know you can't put a broken links program on there? They won't. I'm at WP Engine and they won't let me do that.
Yeah.
How do I get, informed that, dude, this one's down and it's going to be down and you better put something new there?
What? Do you want to answer it or you want me?
I've got a tool, and it's probably the same answer as you. But so what I like to do in that case, if you know it's going to be scheduled at a certain time point, what I do is I use an ad management program for that. And you can do text ads, essentially. So if it's a text link or if it's a graphic banner, you can, of course, do that as well. And within the ad management plugin, I tend to use Ad Rotate. You use Ad...
Sanity.
Ad Send?
Sanity.
Okay, Sanity. Basically what you do is you schedule it. And what will happen with Ad Rotate anyways is when you're coming up to the expiration date of the ad, it'll send you an email and say, hey, your ad's about to expire. You need to do something about it. And then you can also rotate ads within that ad unit. So if you know it's going to expire on a certain date, you can just have the second thing in the rotation be a different ad and pop it back in. That's one technique I use for that.
Yeah, so the two other things that I would recommend using is one, a plugin called Thirsty Affiliates. What Thirsty Affiliates allow you to do is manage all of your affiliate links from your WordPress dashboard. Allows you to, kind of cloak them so it's yoursite.com/go/whatever. It also allows you to replace keywords. So if you're running an offer like today, but you have written about Sephora, in 100 articles, it will automatically go back in all the 100 articles and link to the keyword Sephora at least once in all the articles. So you get the maximum benefit of that deal that you have going on for this 1 week. So Thirsty Affiliates does that. And then, whenever you're done, you have to keep track with it because this is a special offer. It's going to expire in 14 days. Once you're done, go delete that link, rebuild the stuff, and, all those links are automatically gone because you never manually added them. They were automatically added. If you're manually adding them, there's a plugin called Expire Post Content. And what that does, if you know a certain content is going to be outdated, you can put expire on date this, and it's a short code basically. So once that content is expired, you can either choose so it's completely hidden, it's like it was never there, or you can say, sorry, this deal is over. I'll keep. If you want to get more deals, sign up to my email newsletter, something like that.
And are there any that you'd recommend that are lighter than others? Because I don't want to slow down my
site.
Sure,
I use Thirsty Affiliate myself, and I have fairly large sites. Unless you're putting in 100,000 links in there, it will work.
No. Okay.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yes, sir. And you guys are free to line up if you know you have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. You mentioned being on YouTube and having slideshows if you're camera shy. I actually proposed that to my boss. She turned it down, so I appreciate you guys giving me the ammo to put that back up. But my question is, what makes a good narrator? And because it seems like, maybe it's just me, but it seems like maybe everybody's not cut out for narration, and maybe the narrator could turn some viewers on, turn some viewers off. So if you have any just general suggestions on what makes a good narrator.
So for our List 25 site, we're now on our third narrator. So the first narrator left, the second narrator wasn't liked by the audience as much, so we are on a third narrator. So it just depends. You have to, when you have a narrator, people get used to it. If you mispronounce a word, that happens every now and again. It's okay. There's certain voice, right? If you're on a learning type stuff, certain voice, certain tone, you got to keep going. A lot of times, the best tip you can give to your narrator is instead of recording in one shot go, is just record, take break, and then edit that. So you're putting things together. It's just first you're going to go here, and then you're going to go do this, instead of pause, this, that. None of that is happening, and it feels like the video is really professionally done, but all what they're doing is cutting out the audio and joining the sentences together so they look like full stop, next sentence, versus full stop, different breaks, a breathe, or a fan, or whatever you have going on. That tends to work really well. But on YouTube, aside from that, if you don't have a lot of moving objects, start using annotation and use annotations to point to your other videos, link to your external sites, and point them at different areas. YouTube gives you analytics on how long a certain video is being watched. So you want to make sure that 5 seconds before that average cutoff time, you show an annotation because now their eye just went up and something happened. So now they're going to stay on a video longer. At least that has worked for us. So I'll do that. Go ahead.
So I'm currently moving into this building, and I have we were on Constant Contact for a long time, and I started running to to complications. Get multiple websites, and there's a confirmation link that you can only have for one account. It's a general one, so I'm having to move away. So currently I'm starting moving into MailPoet. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that one at all, but each site has its own specific setup. I don't know if you have any drawbacks, if you know anything about that one, or if there's another one that you recommend for list building and automatic email.
My choice of recommendation for most bloggers are MailChimp and Aweber. It's not that I have anything against MailPoet. I love MailPoet. We have an integration with their software. If you're using MailPoet, just make sure that you're not using your WordPress site to send emails. Because one of the most attractive feature of MailPoet, at least for bloggers, is that, oh, I don't have to pay this monthly fee because my WordPress host can send emails. Your WordPress host was not meant to be a mailing server. Chances are if that's sending emails, your emails are ending up in spam or never being opened. So MailPoet does offer a service where they will send the email, so they become just like MailChimp. But at that point, MailChimp is so much more powerful. Why are you going to use a tool that's not powerful? I know MailPoet has tons of exciting features that are in the plans that are coming soon, but until those features are out and I have tried them, I cannot say, MailPoet is my de facto go-to choice. Hopefully that answers your question. Any other questions? If not, then, oh, go ahead.
One more.
You talked about Snap RPM. What's the URL for that?
snaprpm.com.
All right. Well, this means we're right at time. Thank you very much, guys. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.